spiritual growth is something that doesn't really have very specific markings or points. People sometimes will say, so I was meditating and I saw this color light. What step is that? What level am I at? And there is no level. There is no sense of, this color light is phase 1 and that color light is phase 2 and then beyond all lights is phase... Nothing like that. Some people see lights. Some people don't. Some people see shapes. Some people don't. Nothing to do with levels or... But there are a lot of markings in how we move through the world, how we think, how we choose, how we decide, how we speak, how we act. And this is where, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, well, what are the signs? What are the signs of a real yogi, of a real wise person, an awakened person? And Lord Krishna gives us this beautiful list. And it has to do, for example, with being balanced. So something bad happens, loss, failure, compared to success or gain. But we're pretty even. In most of our lives, it has to do really with things like, how frequently do you lose your temper? So if you used to have an anger issue and maybe you would lose your temper 5 times a day, but now you only lose your temper once a day, well, you're getting better. That's a real concrete way to know I'm getting better. I used to shout 5 times a day. Now I only shout once a day. I'm going to keep going until it's once a week and then not at all. If we have a tendency toward competition, you find that it used to be as you were moving through the world, you were always kind of competing against, feeling jealousy, feeling envy, feeling judgment. Why do they get a bigger chapati? Why do they have more potatoes? Look, I got less. That's not fair. This person, he's chewing with his mouth open. That's not good manners. And, or this person doesn't know how to do that. Or they're bad at this. I'm better at it. I should have been the one who got that praise or that job or that whatever it may be. Constant sort of competitiveness with the world around us. And then if you notice that it's getting less, that wow, a whole day went by and you didn't find yourself looking at how much potatoes the person next to you got compared to how big your chapati was, and whether, a mutual friend was nicer to someone else than to you, or... Look, a whole day went by. You weren't competing. You weren't noticing what someone else had. Their watch is nicer than your watch. Their jewels are nicer than your jewels. Their car is nicer than your car. You went a whole day and you didn't compete inside. That's definite progress. If you're someone who tends to be a gossip, again, kind of negative and judging, and you're always sort of criticizing other people in your mind or to others. Did you see this one? Oh yeah, he's just like that. She's just like that. And you didn't do it for a whole day. It's progress. Or criticizing yourself. Did a whole day go by that you didn't say to yourself, oh, you are so stupid? That's progress. So our spiritual growth manifests in our emotional state, in our psychological health, and in our external words and actions. And so while we can't measure it based on what you're seeing in meditation, we certainly can measure it by how you're moving through the world. And so people who are in the throes of grabbing or pushing away or judging or criticizing or wanting, coveting. If you think about what most of our cultures use as kind of the vices or the 7 deadly sins, or however our particular cultural or religious background defines them, they're pretty similar. Anger and greed and envy and lust and these. So how often did I engage in that today? How often did my thoughts go toward lust, toward greed, toward anger, toward judgment, toward criticism? And how often did they not? Keep a diary, keep a, on your calendar. 5 thoughts of greed today. 5 times I looked at what someone else had, wished it was mine. That jacket, that hat, that whatever it may be. 5 times today, I said something negative about somebody else. I criticized another in my mind or out loud. 5 times today, I had thoughts of lust. And then a week later, 1 time or no time. Then you know it's working. And if it's not changing, then it's important to reevaluate yourself spiritually. What am I doing or not doing that's not changing how I live? Because as Puja Swamiji says, spirituality is not a weekend business. So it's not just about my prayers in the temple, or I did Abhishek in the temple and somehow that should absolve me. Well, if you did Abhishek in the temple, and then as you walked out, and somebody was standing there and you pushed him out of the way and thought, my God, what an idiot. Well, your Abhishek is over. So it has to be that which actually goes within. It's not just I see Lord Shiva in the Shivling and I've offered my milk and I've offered my honey and I've offered the yoga, I've offered everything. Well, am I able then to see Lord Shiva and the guy standing in my way as I walk out of the mandir? Am I able to see him in all of the poor people lining the streets outside the mandir? And to not only use my money to buy my puja thali to go in and pour milk on it, but am I able to use some money to actually buy milk and feed it to these people? Is that spiritual practice actually changing how I think and move through the world? Is it making me more compassionate, more patient, more loving? Are people more and more drawn to me? Do I find more and more that people just want to be with me, work with me, talk to me, ask my, whatever it may be? Then something's happening.